RSL Nation? To the bros, we are here. Welcome here.
We
Welcome.
are here. My fingers are not frozen anymore, everybody.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you. All right, so um let's just get the snow stuff out of the way. Marcus, did you survived, it looks like,
I
but
I survived. My fingers did not, though, at the end of the game.
oh no?
I was frozen. I am not enjoying this this cold temperatures outside. We went from, like,
Yeah.
I think last week we were like 60 degrees, almost spring around the corner, and now Mother Nature's like, joke's on you. It's gonna be winter a little bit longer.
Well, I mean, let's just dive right into it. I need to ask you, how was all of it? Like from the delays, you had wind, then you had the game starting to snow. I mean, go give us everything from your perspective.
Well, let me just say, you missed out on probably a game that we're never gonna forget.
Well,
First and
I,
foremost,
I won't forget it, but yeah, I'm kind of bummed out.
you missed out on a good one. So, I show up, obviously like everyone thinking that the game's gonna be at 12, but on my way there is when I get the notification. Oh, joke's on you! Game is actually at 2:10. I'm like, really, really? I was in this rush, and there was more traffic than usual. Like we literally get like bumper to bumper cars. I
I'm
park.
assuming it's because of the amount of people that wanted to go to the game. I mean, it's the home opener, so everyone wants to go.
Yeah, obviously. I parked my car walking up the hill to the stadium. Everybody is either they get the notification that the game's not starting until 2:10. They're like, "Oh, we have 2 hours," or they're leaving to go home because they saw that there's a huge snowstorm coming. And I'm like, "Oh, that's odd. Everybody's leaving." I'm like, "What's going on?" So, show up and just chilling for literally 2 hours until till kickoff.
You chilled, so you sat out on outside. You sat outside for 2 hours.
I did one quick lap around, and then I went up to the press box, greeted everybody, and then I stayed warm as best I could.
I'm telling you, that sounds. I mean, like you said, it's memorable, but man, that sounds really cold. Now
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about the game. Obviously, we're just like every post game. We're gonna talk about the game. We're gonna get into some other MLS action that we saw, that we heard. Give our thoughts on a couple of games, and then we're gonna talk about the game coming up against Colorado. But let's
Our rival
rival. But let's dive into the snow. And
in Snowmageddon,
is that what they're calling it now?
Snowmageddon, Snowmez.
Snowmez, more snuggles, snolls.
Yeah. So
Anything with snow, right?
yeah, so where to begin? So we're literally what third minutes, and we see the ref point up to the sky, calls the game. Lightning delay. I'm like, come on, come on. We waited for 2 hours for this.
Well,
So
I
then,
mean, let's get into that. The lightning delay was the weirdest thing. So we have lightning's delay, we have winds that delayed our previous start. The
uh-huh.
but but the winds are totally fine, right? I mean, because when I say totally fine, it was totally fine to cancel it, because from the sounds of it, there are things that are just being knocked down, flying over
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
So
did you see
I don't
that?
know. I don't know if you well behind. Well, it's up in the upper area. It's in the southwest area. You know where the 2009 championship banner is. Yeah, right there. Thank you.
Okay.
Right there. That blew down.
Oh,
That's how strong the winds were. So I show up and a few people were like, "Yeah, the winds blew that banner down." I'm like, "Ooh, ook. Yeah, not cool, not cool."
okay. So that's the reason why. So that's why LAFC, they said they're on their way. They decided to turn their bus around. And so that was
They
their
they must
delay.
they put their alarm on snooze.
No, they said they turned their bus around because of they found out the game was going to get delayed,
Yeah,
and so they went
yeah.
back to their hotel. Now, just like what you're saying, third minute, not only after the windy wind delay, we now get a lightning delay.
I'm not gonna lie. Like 3 minutes in, I was like, "Oh, RSL's looking good. We have some good possession. We got some good not we didn't have any chances, but like the fact that we had possession over LAFC in 3 minutes was like not bad. But then the ref points to the sky, clear the field, clear the field. We got lightning. I'm like, oh, come on, come on.
How confusing was it at the stadium? I mean, I know press box usually gets the reasons why pretty fast, but
Uh-huh.
was there just like mass chaos, like mass confusion in the stands?
Yeah, everybody was kind of confused. Obviously, everybody ran to seek shelter because obviously it's a lightning delay, but I could see a lot of confusion on people's faces. I went to go grab a bite to eat because I was like, best thing to do during a lightning delay, eat some food.
You're like, before I get hangry, well, I'm gonna go eat some food.
Yeah, why not? I can't just eat popcorn. I needed some actual food during a lightning delay.
What'd you end up eating?
I found this local place. It's a hidden joint. It's called Domino's.
Oh, it's a hidden gem.
So I had some good Domino's during the lightning delay to get me by.
Nice. So me and you found out, by speaking with someone yesterday that the lightning delay was literally one lightning strike.
Hmm.
Oh no, were you there ever during that conversation?
Sure. Maybe I was. I
All
can't
right,
remember. Possibly.
then
Possibly.
I had that conversation for sure. It was one lightning strike over the point of the mountain part of Draper,
Hmm.
and the storm was heading south, so it's heading away.
Yeah.
So it was one of those
Wah,
like,
wah, wah.
oh my gosh, really? Like
It just probably just barely made it into the radius. It's like, oh, just
I think the range is 10 miles, I think, and this was like 8 miles. And it was like
oh,
it was on its way
it,
out.
it just barely snuck in. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so yeah, so all for all of you that didn't know the exact lightning situation, that was it. It was one lightning strike, barely within the range of cancellation.
because what happened was where the away team's benches, LAFC's bench right there. I saw lady for RSL. She's literally booking it to the fourth official, saying, "Stop the game! Stop the game!" I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? Like the sky looks fine. Fourth official then radios into the center ref, pointing to the sky. I'm like, no, no, can't be.
So so we get 30 minutes of lightning delay.
Yeah, 30 minutes,
That's a rough one.
and that's it was probably the worst timing to have a lightning delay because that is when we get the snow blizzard just coming right in.
Well, yeah, the snow started coming in slowly. Like it, you could feel it starting to come on when the game first started.
And I was
Uh,
sending you videos like every so often is right when the teams came out to warm up after that lightning delay, you could feel the temperatures get colder,
well, the
the
field was
dark
already white.
yeah, the temperatures got colder and the cloud just got dark and just going right over the stadium. I'm like, "Oh no, this is going to get bad."
Well, I to be honest, I didn't know how bad it was gonna get. I didn't
Yeah.
think we were gonna get 4 to 6 inches. Yeah, well, Weather Channel weather advisories did say that. I didn't believe them because we don't really believe much of what they say.
Well, sometimes we get different different things from different weather sources. So I'm like, who to believe?
Yeah, yeah. So cool. We come out of lightning delay, and we get the game started, and and I agree with what you said. With even though we played 3 minutes before the
Mhm.
lightning, we started looking good. I mean, you could just tell that there's a feel. There's a feeling.
Yeah, with this lineup, obviously, well, we saw a few changes in this lineup. So similar to last game in St. Louis, Anelli playing that defensive mid spot, which he did an amazing job in St. Louis. We have him and Ojeda pulling those strings. Same back line, minus only big difference is Marcelo Silva gets his first start this season with Vera injured, but he was still on the bench. And then Crooks gets his debut start. So that front four was lethal.
That was a good front four, and I do have a couple of comments about this front four, but I need to mention that I have been totally proved wrong with Anelli. I have been super
Yeah, you
impressed.
have. You have been super anti no. You're like, oh no. We can find somebody better than Anelli.
Look, but what position have I always said that I prefer Nelly at? It's
The
the
yeah,
right back.
it's the right back. Yeah.
So having him come up to a center midfielder, defensive midfielder, has always
Uh-huh.
freaked me out because I've never seen him as a guy that had skill on the ball. I've never seen it. I've seen him as a good defender, as a good, just like stop the ball and let's distribute. But um, I've been super impressed with how Anelli has been playing these past couple of games, and I should be impressed with how he was from last year. But last year, I think because of his it was his
It was
rookie
a
year,
rookie season. Yeah.
and there's a lot of things that um yeah.
I I,
Anyways,
I will agree with you on some aspects. I thought last season he was gonna be like one of those rookies. Hey, he only is gonna need time in the Monarchs and then work from there. But no, he's proven everybody wrong. Like first team is where he belongs.
yeah, and absolutely, and the changes that were made, um, in terms of Crooks coming in, we had mentioned that change last game.
One thing I'll ask you when it comes to this lineup, did it surprise you that we didn't see Pablo Ruiz starting at all?
Well, and that's what I was getting at because the fact that Pablo Ruiz didn't start did surprise me in the sense that I thought that we were going to drop him back to a defensive midfielder, move
Hmm.
Nelly to the right back, and everything was just going to be a hunky dory, normal as can be. That part surprised me, um, but not. It did surprise me 100%. It surprised me a little bit, but seeing as he came off last game, I wonder if they're trying to limit his minutes as he's recovering because he did go. Did he go 90 against? No, he didn't go 90 against Miami.
No, no.
But he has been going majority of minutes the first two games. And so with that, I think it's
No,
fine.
Miami he went 90, St. Louis he went 63, LAFC he went 17.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we're fine in reducing those kinds of minutes. Now, maybe we'll save this for the Colorado conversation, but do we see Ruiz back in the line? Oh yeah, we do. Maybe because of Ojeda. Um
Thanks a lot, Ojeda. It's all your fault.
we'll get into that. But um I really like this lineup and
Oh yeah.
in the end we all love this lineup. It was
Obviously, there, in my opinion, there might be one tweak that I would change, but overall, it's a good
oh
lineup.
yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
give me your tweak.
Um, maybe Hidalgo, but the more games that I've seen him play so far this season, he's kind of it's the same thing as Anelli for you. Like I was very hesitant. You were hesitant about Anelli. I'm hesitant about Hidalgo because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if he's good for that those outside backs. If he's gonna get out hustled,
Hmm.
outran. I don't
I
know.
can I can see that. I can feel you.
But the thing is, like, we don't know about. We're still waiting on Catranis with paperwork. Obviously, with all that in Greece, we don't know when he's gonna be ready. And then when it comes to Oviedo, he's old. Like, yes, he brings that seniority, that experience, but that's all he can bring. He doesn't have
Hmm.
that same speed like he had when he was younger.
Yeah. Yeah. We can have a good lineup discussion for sure because I mean, heck, I'll even mention it. I think Hidalgo reminds me of a little bit of when Justin Glad started. All of us were a little hesitant, but he showed a lot of promise.
Yeah, I see that absolutely.
And Hidalgo isn't he an academy product too?
Yeah, actually, he's from Utah, so
So I'm just saying. I mean, we're looking at similar paths.
local kid. I believe he's from Draper, so
Draper, I thought he was from Layton.
something like that. He is from Utah, so
Ooh, someone correct us. The
Bodie, if you are listening, I'm sorry,
sorry, we forgot. We don't know where you're from, and we're from here too. Great.
and we're from here.
Well, let's dive into after this. We started the game again, and we look great.
Solid.
I
Like,
like who out of this whole game, who caught your eye, and who was your favorite player for this match?
um, is there only? I think there's only one option, in my opinion. I think it's Snowmez. Snowmez, because I've mentioned in the Miami game, in the St. Louis game, well, mostly in the Miami game, I was like, Gomez is a very selfish player. He needs to pass the ball. I think in this game, he put his foot down, be like, hey, enough's enough for all those haters. I came to play. And he did. Freaking 2 goals in the first half, wow. Like, say what you want about playing the snow, like soccer, and Gomez scored.
Yeah, and that's what surprised me the most. I think he was going to be the one that, in my head, would have been least likely to play as well as he did. That's just being flat out honest. I did not think Gomez was going to play this well in
No,
snow because one, he does has never played in the snow. I don't think.
he's from
Um,
Colombia. Like they don't have snow in Colombia.
what? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Someone, Cheeky's gonna correct you on this one. There is snow in Colombia, just not where
No,
Gomez
not
is
not
from.
not what we got on Saturday.
They have mountains in Colombia, bro. Where do you think the Andes Mountains start?
I need to go visit
Speaking of geography,
Barranquilla or Medellin apparently.
yeah. Anyway,
But
so I think Gomez was the one that surprised me the most. Um,
mhm,
but overall, that was a really good performance. I'm just saying. Oh, but my man of the match, um, it has to be either. Look, I don't want to be all hype up because he just made his first start. Crooks didn't play bad.
I
I
was
think
I was about to mention Crooks because when I was watching the game, like yes, it was snowing. He mentioned I think in the post game that this was only his second time having a snow game. But I don't know if you saw he seemed very much like Krylock. He would go back to like a defensive mid and like he was like walking slash jogging.
so. It was very interesting to watch because it almost seemed like because Messi plays an attacking mid, attacking wing, and you always
Hmm.
see him drop all the way back. Why do
Yeah,
you see those people drop back? Is to get the ball. And
yeah.
and I think that link right there is what we've been missing a lot from an attacking midfielder. So when Krylock was playing, he
He,
did it, but it was like meh.
like Saba never brought that at all.
Saba was always stuck on the wing because he wanted to be on
Hmm.
the wing. So it was really tough to get a good attacking midfielder. I think with Crooks, we found gold.
Yeah, it kind of threw me for a loop. I'm like, hey, we have never seen this for a long time. What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah. So um to be honest, I can't give you a man of the match, but if I were to choose a part of the field in our formation of the match, it'd definitely be our front four. Our front
Yeah.
four were doing excellent.
Besides Snowmez, I'll give a shout out to Dan Farnes and his crew. Like they're the other man of the match.
That
Shoveling those lines throughout the whole game, that credit to them. Because without
yeah.
them, we couldn't have played that game on Saturday.
Well, I mean, should we get into that debate? Let's get into the debate. So with Cherundolo doing all the crying that he did,
Oh my
um,
gosh.
would you? And I need you to be honest. I need an honest assessment here.
No fanboy
No
opinion.
fanboy. Like take take the RSL out of this. Would you would you have played this game or said yes to playing in these conditions for your team?
Man,
If RSL had played against, let's say, a worse team than, like, let's say Colorado in Colorado, and it snowed 4 or 5 inches, and we lose 3-4-0, would you be complaining?
oh man, you got me here. Like
I mean,
yes, I can.
I mean,
Like yeah,
all of us are like getting on top of LAFC, like criticizing him, like you
yeah.
crybabies, like you guys wanted to play and blah blah blah. But I mean, to be honest, would you have been upset at this with these kind of conditions?
Like yes, I can see where Steve Trundle is coming from. Like you obviously come from LA, where it's hot, where it's no conditions like this. But if I'm being real, no, no. If RSL was playing in Colorado and there was like 6, 7 inches or whatever, no, I would not. I would not be happy about that at all. Like, yes, we've seen that happen, but in my opinion, I eventually would like to see maybe a rule change by U.S. Soccer when it comes to this. Because, like, obviously we have the rule with lightning, with delays and all that, but maybe something along the lines of a snow. If it, I don't know, maybe a certain inches or whatever. Be like, hey, because like in this situation on Saturday, you could not see the lines. Like players were freezing their fingers. Like towards the 70th, 80th minute, you couldn't even see who was taking a corner kick on the other side of the field.
I mean, for those that were there, this must have been pretty entertaining to watch. I can't remember who said it, but from a fan perspective, all this sounds like a ton of fun.
It looked as if I was watching sand soccer, honestly, like something like you'd see in Brazil or Mexico. I'm like, what is this? Like the ball would stop, and like you passes wouldn't even go anywhere.
Well, and that was my discussion yesterday with I was talking with Dad. That's who I was talking about. Like he's a good resource. Um, the ball was still rolling though. It wasn't like when you get those rainstorms, especially when people say you got CONCACAF'd. Well, this is a form of getting CONCACAF'd where there was so
Hmm.
much. eh, For instance, in Central America, when it rains a lot, the
It pours.
it pours. The water is on the field and it's standing water, and the ball cannot move in that water, right? And
Hmm.
so when
Yeah,
when that happens, usually the game is canceled because the field is not up to condition.
yeah.
Now, what do you do when the ball is still rolling on top of snow? The ball wasn't like getting stuck. It was you're still able to pass it and it was still able to roll and like skip.
Yeah.
So so what do you do? Because you can't for me, you can't cry player safety because well, you can when it just rains slightly, the field gets super wet and that's player safety
See
concern.
that's where I'm really torn because obviously like there's a side where you want to be watching out the player safety because this is frigid temperatures that nobody's used to. But then like you just mentioned, the field conditions, like you could still pass a ball. Like the balls were still passing, but obviously you can't really see the lines.
I mean, what you're trying to do is like kind of do like like a Venn diagram kind of thing. Like where
Hmm.
what common thing can you find in all these kinds of situations where you're like, yeah, here all these things we need to cancel or postpone the game.
Yeah, because
Well,
there were several times when the ball would go out of bounds on the west side where I was at, and I was like trying to see, I was like, did that ball really go out? Can the ref really see the line?
yeah. So
So
did did this snow ruin the integrity of the game?
a lot of people are saying RSL shouldn't chalk this up as a win. Like, yes, it is a win, but like, don't really take it up as much. Like, LAFC kind of like waved the white flag towards the end of the second half because they took out Bogus, they took out Elias Sanchez. So I believe they took out. Let me look at
Yeah,
who.
yeah, they took out Tuesta, they took out
Uh,
Oliveira.
yeah, so you could tell towards the second half, just a lot of LAFC was kind of waving the white flag. Just they don't want any of their players to get hurt, which I see that. I can understand that because they got another big game coming up against Sporting Kansas City. So
Well, I mean, they don't want their players getting hurt, but it's like what the argument has been said already like past couple of days. RSO is playing in the same conditions. So what's the difference?
Steve Trundle, he must think that RSL literally just walks outside and that we're literally training, practicing in this every single day. No, I'm looking outside. It's literally it's cold, but it's sunny outside.
Yeah. And so that's what also I'm getting at is that the conditions were for both teams. So then what what's the difference in this game? What was the difference? If I mean, we're looking at we had more possession. Yes.
Yeah,
But what was the difference for you?
I don't know. I think it was the mentality. It was RSL going in there, a home opener. Yes, the temperatures suck, but like, hey, this is our first game at home. Like, we have something to prove. We've only gotten 1 point in the past two games. Let's show these guys what we're all about.
So we can chalk it up to what was being said. What was it in the 2022 season, 2023 season? The
Hmm.
X dog factor.
Yeah, yeah, yep, exactly,
This
exactly.
for me was X dog because
Yeah,
you can't tell me that we had something special. We've been practicing special. I don't know what, but I don't know. I'm gonna chalk it up to X Dog and the fact that our mentality was a lot better than LAFC's.
yeah, yeah. A win's a win. I'll take it. 3 points.
A win is a win. So, and there's not really much else to talk about with this game because of the snow. Oh,
Actually,
what?
we missed on the biggest thing. Besides the 3 goals, biggest thing that happened in the second half. Ojeda getting that red card.
Let's talk just a little bit about that.
Yeah,
Do
absolutely,
do you
absolutely.
think? Well, first off, the situation was red. He got shown a direct red, a straight red.
Yeah, because obviously
Um,
he got a yellow card in the first half. Ref goes to VAR, then changes it to second yellow, then red card.
yes. Do you? Well, first off, we obviously don't agree with the straight red, but do you agree with the yellow?
Yeah, yeah, like he was already had a yellow in the first half, then second yellow was what was the right call.
I am not sure yellow was the right call.
You don't think
To be
so?
honest, no. To be honest, um, just so you guys know, I do have a little monkey on my back, so no worries. Don't you just love it when kids just walk in? Um,
I'm like, oh, you got a little shadow going.
I do have a little shadow. Um, I don't agree with the yellow, to be
Okay.
honest. In fact, I think it was the LAFC player that put his cleat into the top of Ojeda's cleat. So if you look at this, if you look at the slow mo, I think it was, and I'm going off of it could be I'm making this up in my head, but in right now, I before I look at it again,
You
I think
don't you like when that happens?
don't you love it? um, I think it was LAFC's foot on top of the of Ojeda's foot,
Mhm. Okay.
and that's why I think Ojeda was on the ground for for a longer time.
Yeah,
To be
so
honest,
I don't know, but without a defensive mid for Saturday's match, do you think that's gonna hurt RSL? I guess we'll get into that more, but
yeah, let's get into that more later. Not now. We still have other things to talk about. So let's get into the other things. So that way we
yeah,
can talk about the Colorado game.
so we had other games besides RSL's on Saturday, which there was tons of other games going on. But what game stood out to you besides our 3-0 win?
I have two games that I want to point out. One is Miami's game.
How did I know?
I only,
How did I know? How did I know you're?
but I'm not pointing it out for the fact that Suarez and Messi got 2 goals each. That's not my reasoning.
And now Messi leads the Golden Boot.
Yes, but I'm pointing it out because of how bad Orlando played.
Right,
Orlando
right.
was chalked up to be one of the top teams in the East this season, and
Mm-hmm.
they just got leveled by a rival. Leveled,
Yeah.
and not just any rival. We're talking about Miami, but a Miami team that only won one of their preseason games against a bunch of circus teams.
But l- if you look, Duncan McGuire came out in the 46 minutes. Let's see here. They got Cartagena came out in the 46 minute, all because they're resting them for the CONCACAF game that they have coming up. But still,
Today, I think, right?
yeah, yeah, that
Tuesday
is
night. Yeah.
yeah. So today they play Tigres because they took out two of their players at halftime. But still
Yeah,
dropping 5 goals on the road, that shouldn't be happening.
yeah, that got me looking like I was like, Orlando is looking but that tells me also that Orlando doesn't have as deep of a bench as maybe people have been preaching about.
No, no.
So,
Like Lodero, not the answer.
right? I that was one of the first things I thought. I was like, Lodeto.
Yeah.
If I move around, there she is.
There she is. There she is.
um, Lodeto is not for me the answer for Orlando. To be honest.
Yeah, it's one of those. I'm looking at it. So glad that RSL did not pick him up in the offseason because he would not have been the solution for us. No,
No. My second game. Before because I think you have your games prepared. Like you have a good game in mind.
I do. I
And
do.
hopefully I don't take it. But
I hope not.
you tell me if it is your game. You tell me. San Jose, LA Galaxy.
Good, good. We're on
We're
two
good.
different. No, we're good. We're good.
Okay. So, San Jose, LA Galaxy. San Jose, LA Galaxy has me thinking that the Galaxy are like
Are the Galaxy
we,
back?
I that's what I'm worried about. Are the
The
Galaxy
Gal
back?
the Galaxy are back because I think it's I don't want to say David Beckham Galaxy, but it's close to that because I don't know if you've been paying attention, but one of the better signings from this offseason is Paintsil, who plays for the Galaxy. That guy
Not
is
gonna lie, I had zero clue about Paintsil. I was like, who the flip is Paintsil?
he was over in League One in the French league, and now he comes to the Galaxy. Literally lethal, scary good. So
I I guess I have to watch the game. Like I'm looking at the result. That's all I'm looking at. And this is
yeah,
already
yeah.
the Galaxy's, what is it, their second win in a row?
No, they tied. They tied to the Miami.
Oh yeah, that's right. They tied to Miami, but they're the ones that scored the goal first. That's right.
Hmm. Yep,
Um, so that I'm gonna say that the Galaxy are this good, not that the Quakes are that bad.
makes sense.
I don't know. Do you feel the same way?
No, I feel it because obviously San Jose is trying to fill that missing gap with no Cade Cowell and who's going to step up because it can't just be the Espinoza, Jeremy Abobase show every single
The
game.
Quakes have been trying to do that for like the past who knows how long. So I'm not.
Yeah, yeah,
That's why I'm not surprised. Well, I'm surprised by the result. I thought it was going to be a little bit more close, or I thought it was going to be closer.
yeah.
But yeah, Galaxy are on my radar for to watch out for.
Well, I am going to change. Montreal Dallas. That game stood out to me because Dallas was picked as one of the better teams in the West, but then you have Montreal freaking beating Dallas on the road. Whoo! And I don't know if you saw who scored in this one. Joseph Martinez, his debut, his first goal with Montreal.
Interesting.
So Montreal, if we're looking at the table, they're up there. They're third place right now in the East.
That's that's crazy to think because Montreal last year, if I'm gonna pull up the table from
I don't
last year.
I don't
They,
believe they made the playoffs.
no, they didn't. They finished in 10th,
Yeah, yeah.
and
So
not just 10th, but with a minus 16 goal differential.
yeah,
They
yeah.
needed
So
goals like hardcore. In fact, they were tied for second to last in the East for goals for. So that's why they needed Martinez to get in there.
eek, eek.
It's
Um,
a huge eke.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm trying to debate. There's two other games that stood out to me, but let me flip a coin. Let's go with the Vancouver one. Vancouver Charlotte. So it was Vancouver's first game of the season, drawed 1-1. I was kind of expecting more out of Vancouver. That's why because they have tons of good goal scorers in the likes of let me pull up the line. They have White, Gald, and Krylock started this match because they're playing a 3-4-3, which is kind of surprising there.
Hmm.
But yeah, unfortunate for Vancouver tying that first game at home. So
Yeah.
wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah. Well, I mean, obviously we wish the best for Krylock over there, but I guess you mentioning that makes me a little bit makes me feel better about when we face Vancouver. Don't we face Vancouver this month in two
2
weeks
weeks.
at Vancouver?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so this gives me hope that we're actually going to do really well. In fact, we got through these first three games, the gauntlet, pretty well, to be honest.
Let's be real. Let me ask you this question. When the schedule came out, because I asked you, how many points did you realistically think that RSL was going to get in the first 3 games?
How many did we make a prediction about that?
I don't remember, but
I'm gonna look back and try to be honest. I thought we were gonna win against Miami, to be honest.
okay.
St. Louis was gonna have to be at least a tie. LAFC, obviously, I guess that we were gonna lose. I totally got blasted on that. And I thought that was gonna be a loss. So I thought we were gonna get 4 points.
What's funny is I'm not just saying this, but I actually was the same way. I literally thought RSL was going to be at 4 points at the beginning of the season in 3 games. So just because
We
I
didn't
was
do
like,
too
yeah,
bad.
no, no, because I was like, there's no way that we go 0-3 first 3 games. I was like, no,
Nah, impossible.
no, not at
But
all.
now we're 1-1-1.
1-1-1. And on top of that, we have a plus goal differential.
This is also positive.
Yeah,
It's a
so
positive goal differential and a positive outcome.
don't you like all these positives going into the next game? So
I, not gonna lie, I
the,
feel really positive.
with that, we have our first leg of the Rocky Mountain Cup on Saturday.
Woohoo! Rocky Mountain Cup.
Bring on the little brother.
Now, they can't say that they play as well as we do in the snow. They can't. Actually, I don't know. I'm making that up. But if anyone can find a Colorado game that has snowed a lot where they won by that much, show me.
You know, every time I think of snow in Colorado, you know what game I think of? When the U.S. men's national team played there.
Uh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, but anywho, Colorado Saturday. It's not a morning game or early game. It's a night game. So that's a lot better.
It is. It's a lot better, but it's still gonna be cold.
It is still going to be cold. So Colorado, 2 games in, lost their first game of the season on the road to, it was the one that we mentioned, first game when they lost to Portland 4-1. They had that 4 goals they gave up at halftime.
Hmm.
Last week, they tied to Nashville where they had an own goal. And then Nashville scored a late one in
A
the 90th
penalty.
minute by a penalty.
Yeah. So the question begs, let's get into Colorado a little bit. Um, who are you keeping your eye on for Colorado, if anyone? I'm just kidding. Who do you have your eye on for Colorado? And what are you looking for Colorado to do with who they have?
Yeah, you're exactly right. I'm like, who am I looking? Who am I looking at? I'm like, I think they've scored what 1 goal because I'm not. You can't really count their own goal.
Right.
So I guess player to watch. I'll put Mihalovic, but he hasn't really done much this season. I guess next is Navarro. Those 2 key pieces up top. But I just want RSL to kind of continue momentum where they left off in the LAFC game because we went St. Louis to LAFC, literally same momentum, that same attacking force, good possession, go momentum. I want the same thing in this first leg of the Rocky Mountain Cup at home. It'll be better weather, so there will be fans there, and I just want that good communication, good vibes all around on the field.
So I'm enjoying this momentum that we have too with RSL. Even going back to the Miami game, um, even in Miami, the second half of Miami, I don't know about you, I felt a lot of good vibes up until they scored their second goal, which
Yeah.
was like what 82nd minute, 80th minute. It
Yeah.
was a long time, but RSL played super well second half. St. Louis game, RSL played pretty well for a majority of the game. Except for the basically when we dropped everything and let them score. An LAFC game, I don't know how much you can pull out of the LAFC game besides the fact that had X Dog and we had better mentality. I
Yeah.
think all of that we're gonna bring into this Colorado game and just for me it's gonna be total annihilation. But
Ooh.
I'm not predicting anything right now. Just a second. Hold your horses. But um I agree. I'd be keeping an eye on Mihalovic, but I would also keep an eye on Harris, Calvin Harris on the left wing. Uh I'm not familiar with how he plays, but the fact that in the first game he did get a goal just means that he runs and those wings are going to be dangerous. So if he's going to be on the left wing again, it's going to be whoever's going to be occupying our right back side needs to be super on top of Harris. So whether it's Bodie, whether it's Anelli, whether it's Brody that changes sides,
Hmm.
um, that person needs to be on top of Harris. And same
Yeah.
goes with Mihalovic on the other side. Whoever plays our left back needs to be on top of Mihalovic.
No, no, absolutely, absolutely agree. So now let's get into the debate. Ruiz,
Let's get into this debate.
absolutely.
Go
So
ahead.
I for one, man, we saw him not get the start LAFC. I want to see him start because we have Ojeda on a red card. Noah Heda for this game Saturday. I want to see a Ruiz and Nelly. Let's go Ruiz and Nelly in that defensive mid
Hmm.
back, and then up top, same four up top.
I don't think you can change the front four now. You can't. And do you know what's good
There,
about having the front four that we have?
what's that?
None of them actively play for their national teams, their senior national teams.
That's right. That's right. Because I don't see Gomez getting called up to the Colombian team.
I don't see
Mm,
Chicho getting called up to the Colombian team.
and let's hope that Luna doesn't go for Copa America.
With how
Like I, oh,
here's a
of course. Okay, I take that back. Of course, I want to see Luna do well, play for the national team, but obviously, like you want him with RSL as much as possible. There.
great explanation. Now I'm gonna tell you this because of how Berhalter is and his tendency. I don't think Luna's gonna go to Copa America. I don't.
No, no.
That's just how Berhalter chooses. Now, if he does choose Luna, it's gonna be one of those left turns that everyone's like, "Whoa!" But I think Berhalter already has his midfield, and if Luna
Yeah.
does go, he's gonna be riding the bench, which that's not where we want him. So I prefer
No,
to
no.
have him. I mean, that's where I prefer him not to be. I don't want him riding the bench. That's probably going to be a great experience for him, training with all the first team guys and whatnot. But that's not where I want him. I want him still playing for us. So,
No, definitely, definitely.
that front four, I think you're totally spot on. That front four is you can't change him.
Right, right.
I mean, I'm
So
I'm thinking to myself, what
I'm
happens
just
if
trying to
one of
think.
them get injured?
I'm just trying to think. Julio, Julio couldn't fill it in. Barajas, maybe, but I'm like, no. There's
Oh, that's a bit of news that we forgot to mention. Barajas was called up.
yeah. Congratulations to Barajas heading for the U20. Is it U20? Yeah,
Yeah.
U20 Mexico camp, but he will be back in time for Saturday's match. So no need to fret. He will be back.
Yeah, because I would love to see more Barajas. Um, just because he's showing so much potential.
Now I had somebody mention to me today, like yes, Colorado is a weaker opponent, but they were telling me that they want to see Gavin Beavers start in a game like this against a weaker opponent to get that experience, that playing time.
Mm, mm. Like, uh, don't get me wrong, give Gavin Beers all the experience, but I think right now just keep just keep McMath where he's at. He has good
I,
momentum.
I'm right there with you. Like maybe those first couple Open Cup games have it be the Gavin Beavers show.
I mean, just like what any other European team does, they put in their second
Like if it,
string
yeah, yeah,
goalkeeper for these kind of tournaments. Let Gavin Beavers do Open Cup. Let him. Why not?
yeah, yeah, for sure,
So, I mean,
definitely, definitely.
and are you worried about um Stefan or Vines at all?
Vines, yes. Stefan, yeah, not so much. You literally let in 5 goals in 2 games.
Um, I agree. I agree with you in the sense that I'm kind of worried about Vines only
Yeah,
because I mean, he's
Vines.
young.
We see. Oh yeah, we see what he did in the national game. Literally 52 of 60 for his passing. Like the dude is fast, young, efficient. So kind of worrisome there.
Yeah. So, um, but overall, I don't think Arsenal will have a hard time breaking down this defense. In fact,
No, no.
yeah, it's I feel like there's nothing more to really break down because that's how easily we're gonna break down Colorado. And
Yeah.
I hope I'm not wrong because
I,
I
I'm I'm hoping I'm hoping we take lessons from what Portland did at home to them, and we do the same thing because there's no reason
wait a
we
second.
can.
Wait a second. I totally deviated conversation from Ruiz. We were gonna debate about Ruiz, weren't we? And I went, why didn't you tell me?
I
That
apúrate.
so sorry. Um, Ruiz, I needed to ask you. Going back to the Snowmageddon, were I can't remember what your answer was if you already answered this, but were you surprised of Pablo not starting,
I
and
was.
and
I was.
and so with Pablo not being able to start, do you think there's any possibility that maybe he doesn't start again and they keep him off the bench and maybe he's the substitute for Crooks?
I don't want to see that. No. Be-
I mean,
I think
I know you don't want to see it, but is that a possibility, do you think?
yes, it is a possibility, but I think with having Ojeda have a red card being out this game, I think it just makes it so Pablo and his staff need to use Ruiz in that starting role.
And they won't use Palacio?
No, because I think Palacio is a better off the bench guy.
Hmm, I'm not sure.
You don't
I
think so?
I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you yay or nay. I couldn't.
I know it. They're both solid players. They don't get me wrong. Like I really like Palacio. I like what he did for his national team during the preseason. Like good, great player. But I don't know. Slight edge to Ruiz.
Yeah. All right. All right. With all that being said,
You know what? It's second home game back in America First Field. It
let's
is
do it.
prediction time. Doo-doo-doo. My turn first.
Do it. Do it.
You know, Colorado, not a great opponent. There'll be lots of goals. When I mean lots of goals, there'll be goals on goals on goals. Usually when I do my prediction, I don't like to have like a monstrous amount of goals, but 4-0 RSL.
For
Not one,
nothing.
not two, not three, 4 goals for RSL. 4-0.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm not that crazy. I am totally down with the confidence. Like this game is gonna be spot on.
Chalk it
But
up.
chalk it up for 3 points, chalk it up for a W. But I'm gonna be a little bit more modest, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 3-1 victory for RSL.
See, you're just very generous that you're giving them that 1 goal.
I gotta anticipate a mistake somewhere.
Okay.
I mean, come on, we have Justin Glad and McMath. I mean,
See, I'm nice that I'm giving McMath that clean sheet.
it's good. McMath is a solid wall. Um,
Solid wall. Don't get me
but
started. The fact that he was not on the MLS team of the week, let me get that. That's highway robbery right there.
conspiracy theory. It's a
Yeah.
conspiracy, all of it.
Yeah, but hey, shout out. Let's one more shout. Gomez and Chicho, they made MLS team of the week. But
Claps, claps.
yeah, but solid there. Solid there. But we will see you guys here at America First Field, 7:30 kickoff Saturday night, first leg of the Rocky Mountain Cup. I'll be in the tailgate. Unfortunately, Alan will not.
I will not.
Alan has other responsibilities and duties,
I will
calls.
be. I'll be down on the field somewhere. So if you find me, snap a picture and tag us. Be like, "Hey, I see you." I won't be smiling. I promise. That's a lie.
He won't be. But catch us on the Twitters and the Instagram at the RSL Bros if you want.
Instagrams. You said.
Instagram. Instagram as in one.
Anyways,
Instagram and Twitter at the RSL Bros. And listen to us on the go on Spotify and Apple and watch us here on YouTube.
that sounds great.
Yeah, yeah.
And until Saturday.
Until Saturday, guys, we will catch you guys later and be kind. Ka-chow!
Ciao.